Hi, my name is Tope, and I welcome you to this documentary series, Life in Places. Now, we don't get to choose where we are born, and when we get to this world, our lives are shaped by the communities and the societies we grow up in. As we grow, we tend to have the choice to continue living in our original places of birth, or sometimes we want to explore, we want to move to new places. Moving to new places could be moving a few miles, and sometimes it could be moving thousands of kilometers away. This series seeks to document the stories of individuals that have moved from one part of the world to another part of the world, regardless of their race, of their religion, of their tribe. They've been able to assimilate themselves into new societies and make impact on the people and communities they live in. Today, we will be meeting Mrs. Muna de Ciman. She is originally from Freetown in Sierra Leone in Africa. She moved to the city of Regina in Saskatchewan province of Canada about 20 years ago. She moved with a family here, and she has been able to make a positive impact and has been well recognized for her roles. She is a volunteer for helping the vulnerable, the poor, people with disabilities in the society. She helps new immigrants into the city integrate, and particularly, she has taken on a very sensitive cause, and that is fighting the issues of racism in the society. And she has indeed made some significant impact on this path she has chosen for herself. Please join me as we listen to the story of Auntie Muna, as she is fondly called in the local community here in the city of Regina.
How do you look at life as taking human being not for granted, taking life as precious, life as live a life as there will be no tomorrow? So that means when you see somebody today do whatever it takes to make that person's life better. My name is Muna de Ciman, Muna M-U-N-A, de Ciman D-E-C-I-M-A-N. Well, it's talk about myself is such a hard thing to do. Well, my family and myself came here in 1994 in the cold of winter. Originally, I'm from Sierra Leone, West Africa, capital city of Freetown. I was born in Mayabana district. I'm from the Loko tribe. I'm indigenous. We are from the northern part of Sierra Leone. And I'm from a family of 15. My father had two wives. So for my mother's side, I'm the oldest daughter, I'm the Ada. So, and I have so many siblings. I went to school in the capital city called Annie Walsh. It's mostly a Christian school. I was one of the head girls of the school. And I went there for high school, and then I went to Liberia to do my nursing school there. Then I ended up coming to Canada. Well, I moved to Canada because of the civil war in Liberia. Well, why Canada? Apparently at the refugee camp, we had no choice. An opportunity came for us to move to Canada with my family. So we seized the opportunity, and then we came to Regina. For us, my family and I, we were warned about the cold in Regina. We were lucky. We were warned about the cold in Regina. So it was not a bit a culture shock. But for me in particular, one of the culture shock for me was when a little boy called his own grandfather by his name. That was when I said, oh my God. I asked my husband, how can the little guy call his own grandfather by his name? That was the first culture shock that made me, I was like, wow. The weather was something else, but we were warned about the place, the culture shock, the weather, and that how I would get a job before my husband. We were really, really educated about all these things. So it was not too surprising for me. But for me, the most culture shock was when the little guy called his own grandfather by his name. That was, For my family and I, we try to incorporate the Canadian food with the African food. I know my husband used to say, well, if you wanted to eat the African food, you should have stayed in Africa. We did not miss the African food. We were mostly cooking the Canadian food. And then maybe the African food, we were cooking it maybe once every other Sunday. We were not forgetting to cook the African food, but we were not cooking it every day. No. We were not only cooking the African food. We were also incorporating the Canadian food, but we were mostly cooking the Canadian food for our kids. Our kids were wearing both clothing, the African clothing and the Canadian clothing. So our kids adjusted very well and very quick. Don't forget, kids, they pick up on things very quick than adults, You are scared to make mistakes. And also, you have to work 10 times to prove yourself. It's like when you go to work, you know this is not your work, but you are forced to do it because you want to belong. Now when I look back, I said, oh wow, that was racism. I feel like going back and confront those people. What you were doing to me was sexual abuse, was sexual confrontation. But I said, I wonder whether those people are still in that place. Yeah. But but back then, you needed the job. You were the only minority there. Like washing all the dishes, going around collecting all the plates, doing the job 10 times because you want to belong. Because you don't want them to see yourself as being lazy. Well, like I always tell people though, but for my family, when we came, the time we came in the early 90s. We had, I call them angels at a strategic point of contact. We had angels on the roadsides that were, I like to use metaphoric words, languages. We had angels all the time who were always willing, helpful to us. So our kids were involved in a lot of sport. And we have coaches. We had coaches who are always, like they were always at the door coming to pick them up. We never find ourselves in a constrained place that we say, oh, we are looking for rides. Oh, our kids are waiting for rides, No, we never find ourselves in a constrained moment, no. I was the one out there in the community fighting racism in the community area. But for my kids, they were working in the schools, like in a school board, working, sometimes I will go and work, maybe help them with multiculturalism day or other events. But then I'm working in the community with community organization and everything fighting racism. But I can't tell you anything about them having any issue with racism, but they will fight racism on behalf of other colleagues or other schoolmates. But I'm in a community fighting racism with other organizations on behalf of other people. It's never done in a day. It's not going to say, oh, it's tiring, but you never give up. And that's why people who are faced with racism every day, or parents, like the parents that we are fighting on their behalf, we always tell them, don't give up. Fighting racism is nasty, it's a tiring job, it's effortless, but you still don't give up. It's a work that we are never going to give up. It's everybody's job. It's a societal issue. So you can't say it's not your business. It's our business. It's everybody's business. So we are not going to give up until the world becomes an equality for everybody. Yes, I still have relatives back home. I have all my aunties. I have our matriarch. I have my mother's oldest sister, who is the matriarch of the family. My family just came from home to celebrate our parents' memorial. They sent me photos, they sent me pictures. We still keep in touch. We never lost track of what is happening back home, so I do keep in touch. Whenever I go back home, I just remember the way the people are so happy. Even in the face of poverty, they are always happy. The food, the originality of the food, the originality of the people, the way they welcome you. It's the way, the peacefulness of the people, and the happiness, and the way you walk so free in your own land of liberty, land of peace. That's all I miss back home. You go there, and the music, the people. That's all I miss back home, and the food, of course. You miss. That's the memorable thing. I just feel like I miss that. I miss that every day. Yeah. 2011 or 12 was when two Nigerian students, University of Regina, a Nigerian student, international student, where, as we all know, international students pay triple their school fees, worked at outside their international visa. Two of them worked at Walmart. Well, it was a human rights case. They went and arrested them, and then the case became known to us, and I became involved through the Social Justice Committee, and then we led some campaign, very good campaign, against the immigration for these students not to be deported. So the students were hidden in the church. We supported them. It was a very good campaign we did against the government of Canada and everything. We got the House of Commons involved. We got our MP. We were visiting the students in the church. We did a very strategic campaign. We dressed Father Christmas during Christmas. Oh, the campaign was good. We were visiting the students. We did all type of campaigns. Our MP went to the House of Commons in Ottawa. I did a very good campaign, went to my union. My union got involved locally, provincially, and the Canadian Labour Congress got involved through my initiative. Well, they gave me an ultimatum. The students have to be returned back to Nigeria. Then they will be back to Canada. So a pro bono lawyer was involved. The student went back, but they assured me if the student returned back to Nigeria, they will be returned back to Canada. We said, okay. But it was not I alone. We had a lot of people were involved. But I, as an African mother, I brought the African context. If these students were returned back to Nigeria, to Africa, I brought in the African context, like as an African woman, the African child, what it means for an African child to be educated. You know, in Africa, what it means when an African child is educated, she becomes that icon. She's educated, the family is educated, the family wins, the community wins, the nation wins. That's how a nation is built in Africa. So then I brought in that context. So at the end of the story is the children were returned back to Canada, which was a victory for us. So, well, my view in life is about you don't take life for granted. Life is, we are all each other's keeper. Should look after each other. Try not to go to bed without not doing one good thing, without not putting a smile on somebody's face. Before you go to bed, try to reflect. What good did I do today? Ask yourself, what life did I touch today? Ask yourself. You know, the poor will always be with us. But how do we look after the vulnerable? The vulnerable. And how do we make sure the vulnerable are well looked after? Because the world we are living today look like the rich are just getting richer and the poor are left to just be left. It's like we were camping at the city hall and we were left. We were made a promise that the homeless will be looked after. And the promise was forgotten. And now it looks like the homeless are not being talked about. The vulnerable are not being talked about. Community organizations are left to look after the vulnerable. So that's one thing I would like to change. Well, one of my favorite songs that I like is from an artist called Speedo. It's talking about in Sierra Leone, there is a lot of work to be done. We all have to go and develop our country. that the song is sung in Pidgin English, which is there is a lot of work. There is a lot of work to be done. A lot of work, plenty work. Then I also we all for go home, for go develop our own country. So I'm not fluent in Pidgin English, but I will try to sing it and to do some lot of dance along with it. So please bear with me. Salon, work day o. Lord go work na salon o. Say na boku work o. Work day o. Boku work day na salon o. Na all can work o. Work day say boku work day na salon. So that's why I love Speedo. Say Lord all go na salon, all go develop salon. Boku work day na salon. Is encouraging all of us Sierra Leoneans to go back home, to go and develop our home country, Sierra Leone, because there is a lot of work that is back home for us to go back home, to go and develop our homeland, Sierra Leone, because there is a lot of work there. There is no place like home, but the issue is our leadership. You see, there is no place better like back home to raise your kids. Our education back home is the best. But unfortunately, our leaders have made the place so unbearable for our children. So that's why we are here. That's why I'm here. That's why my husband is here, because of our kids. And our kids know that. The sacrifice we made is because of our kids. To make life all over again, if our leaders can sober up, well, I'm going back home. But if they are not going to sober up, hey, I'm here because of our kids. And our kids have made us proud. You know what? My son, the other one, is now the director of player development for Colorado State University, and his team is now playing tonight in March Madness. So they are making us proud. Okay, he's playing tonight against Maryland. Yesterday they played against Memphis State. So what better story is that? Life in places can be very, very challenging. It comes with challenges and opportunities. The challenges for me was the weather and the culture shock, and also opportunities. Opportunities, my kids were able to be involved in a lot of basketball, and then they met a lot of good coaches, and then a lot of opportunities to got a lot of scholarship, good ones, to go to attend schools in the States. And then one of them ended up the same school he attended, school in the States. He became employed there. He's also been able to lead that same school to NCAA, 2 or 3 of his boys to NBA, and they are playing there now. And the younger boy played for Husky team and with the Rattlers, and a few of my girls have played for Basketball Canada. So these are all opportunities, and I've had so many opportunities. I've had a lot of awards. I've gotten a lot of awards, like CBC. I've gotten a lot of documentary made on me that Antumuna have had these opportunities, like Movers and Shakers of the Prairies, documentaries on me. I've got the Queen Elizabeth Platinum Award. I've gotten the YWCA Women of Distinction Award. I've got so many awards, but at the same time, there is that dotted line. I face racism. But you know what? Yes, the racism is there, but I've gotten all these awards. But I always say, you know what? It's there, but the racism is way up there. But I've gotten all this other stuff. But I'm still fighting racism in the community. It's our business. you're still going to fight it. You know what? It's not about me, it's about the people, it's about community. We have to do this for the people, for the community.
And that is the story of Auntie Muna. Quite an experience. She's a mother. She has lived a good life and is still living a good life. Thank you for joining us on this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.